Physics Mix artist. I'm a character designer and a freelance illustrator. And today I'll be doing a watercolor piece of this cute squishy cat, which is a collab with one of my friends who's also an artist, FoxyMommaArt, and she creates these adorable little needle felt characters. So she came to me with the idea that I design this character and then she'll needle felt it. So yeah, here I am. When approaching this character design, I wanted to make them appealing and cute but not overly complex, because if I added like extra stripes, gradients, extra limbs, angular shapes, or tiny small impossible patterns, that would just make the work on Foxy Mama's part a bit harder. So as a designer, I have to think of what the end goal for each character is. So what will they be used in? Kind of have to consider this for like traditional animation. If I were designing a character for that, I want to consider that they will be redrawn a lot to make them move. So I don't want to make the character overly complex. I see this mistake made often. Everyone is so worried about making their characters unique and different, so they add extra markings or a bizarre amount of mashed up limbs and anatomy, complex little details and patterns, and more, never really thinking about how hard it would be for someone to recreate it, and then they wonder why their character is rarely or never drawn by other artists. There's a time and a place for complex characters, like for instance stories or illustrations for books or webcomics. They're usually standalone pieces that are meant to be beautiful just to look at, and the intention behind them isn't for others to continually draw them over and over again. So if you want your character to be drawn a lot, keep it simple. Or have a really compelling story that people are interested in, right? Because you see fan art of really complex things that have a really good story and depth to them. You just gotta build up that investment that people have in order to create that then. I think some of the best examples of simple characters out there that are memorable has to be ones like Pusheen. You see that character in products everywhere. Really simple, round shapes and appealing that way, but not complex, right? But still memorable. Everybody kind of knows that character. And when you think of Pokemon, that franchise, right? What's the first Pokemon that comes to mind? Pikachu, right? Pikachu is a really simple character. I mean, their face alone is made up of just circles and triangles for the ears. And if you look Pikachu up on Google, I'm pretty sure you'll find tons of fan art just of that character. And don't even get me started with Kirby. That character is simply round. Just round. And yet everyone remembers and knows who that character is. So in conclusion, it's easy to keep adding to your characters to make them the only one out there like that. But it's much more impressive to make a simpler, rememberable character that ends up being used and loved everywhere. Anyways, I know I went off on a tangent there about character design, but that's sort of my passion and what I really love. So I just had to keep talking about it. Now, I know I'm not a fast artist when it comes to traditional pieces, but I still love the blends, textures, and marks that mediums like this make. So I suppose that's the reason why I stick with it when I do finished characters sometimes. Watercolor is all about building up your values. You start with the lightest lights and work your way to the darks. That's why you'll see me go over some of these colors again and again until it gets up to the value that I like it to be. I also start broadly, so starting with the large shapes, working down to the smaller shapes. The smaller details will be the last things I add, along with any other extra sparkles or texture designs that I want to throw in there. It's kind of fun to let that just creative process happen, you know, while you're working on a traditional piece. I've been teaching art at a local college here for about a year and a half, and I still don't feel entirely like I have learned everything out there, which is kind of exciting, because as an artist you can continually grow and learn new skills, and it's a process that never ends. If you ever get to a point in your art where you think you're the best thing out there since sliced cheese, bread, sliced bread, then you just stop growing and you stop your own improvement. You're only hindering yourself. It's important to be able to have that flexibility to continue to learn. so then you can become a better artist as you continue to grow and develop. And all artists will go through different phases, and some artists don't want that critique and don't want to get better because they're satisfied where they're at. It's like that uphill battle that everyone fights. You think you're really good, and then you start and learn and see more, and you look at your art, and you're like, oh, wait, my art's not as good as I thought, because you can see better and you've learned more. So you work really hard until you get to a point where you're like, I like my art, it's really good again. And you can ride that for a little bit until you see it once again, you've gotten better, looking for details and seeing how art should be. And you look at your art and you say once again, oh, I'm not so great. So you continually go back and forth between improvement and seeing and improvement and seeing until you become a better and better artist. It's like just a process that I love, though it's so easy to become discouraged and just to stop somewhere along that. And I hope those of you out there who might be struggling to continue to do art or feeling discouraged, I hope you can pick yourselves back up and continue creating, because you're gonna end up getting that mileage and getting better. Every piece that you make is a stepping stone to becoming a better artist. You learn something, no matter what it is, even if it's just sketches every single day. You'll learn and get better. And have fun along the way. Don't get discouraged. Anyways, 10 minutes is a little bit long to talk for. I never really thought that I'd about talking for 10 minutes straight. I don't even do that on the phone. I don't normally talk to people for very long. So this has been a journey, that's for sure. Thanks for listening to me talk, though, about, art and my thoughts on things, and for watching this video. After it's done, you can probably hop over to Foxy Mama's video to see her translate this character into that adorable needle felt 3D version, which I'm really excited to watch myself. I had a blast collabing with her, and if you like this video, maybe I'll keep making more in the future, even if the technology and the setup to create it all was a bit of a hassle. Especially trying to get it down onto my computer to try and upload it. My computer is ancient. It's like a dinosaur. So it's so slow. I think when I first tried to upload all of the little pieces for this video onto my computer, it said it's going to take 24 hours. So yeah, I found a work away and found out if I downloaded it one at a time, it was only 8 minutes per little segment. But still, yeah, the process was a bit tedious, and I am super impressed with all of those artists out there that create the traditional videos. Because either they have a really good tech or really good patience for creating them. But I still had a blast, and I think it turned out pretty okay. I think I'll be using my phone actually to record videos in the future, because I used a camera this time, and that's what caused the problems with transferring the files over. And I actually think my camera on my phone has a bit better quality for seeing traditional mediums, which is interesting, which is something I didn't expect. So at least I had the resources through the school to borrow a camera for a little bit before I went out and actually paid for something like that, because the technology is also kind of expensive, which is another reason why I highly respect those who can create videos like this. But again, if you guys like it, it's probably worth the struggle, and I did learn a lot through it, which is fun. You learn a little bit each time. Oh, and this last part here, you can see I'm actually using gouache, and a lot of people think gouache is cheating for watercolor, but I say use the resources you have. And gouache is nice because you can paint some lights on top of it, but except the white you have to go over a couple times because it doesn't want to stay as bright as you put it down initially. Gouache usually dries a little bit darker than what you put it down. But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. So I'll see you next time. Stay safe and squishy. Bye!